Were you surprised at how cozy Trump and Mamdani seemed in the Oval Office? I was a little surprised, but I thought it was pretty smart politics all the way around. Charles Gasparino wrote on Twitter that his meeting with Mamdani was arranged by a Trump-aligned New York business figure with ties to the mayor-elect's circle. Mamdani requested the sit down, and Trump agreed under the condition not to push a left-wing agenda during the conversation. He also said that Mamdani is not personally hostile to Trump, but I guess give it time. Let's see what happens. I was a little surprised how cozy it is, but I do think it's pretty smart politics for them to play nice right now.
It is and it is. I mean, it is. And I mean, that picture of him standing like the schoolboy in the vice principal's office next to Trump
Yeah.
sitting at the Resolute desk, that was good branding for Trump. And look, we know two things about Trump. He loves to be flattered and he loves people to come into his office and, pay obeisance. That Mamdani did that. Mamdani requested the meeting, not the other way around. Second, he also changes his mind on a whim, and there's nothing to stop him tomorrow from sending the National Guard into New York and being like, well, I tried. Look, he came, I talked to him, it just didn't work out. And for Trump, that's good political cover for him too. And I think the fact, like what I said about he sent his Justice Department after the protesters in New York, that's a good thing too. So I look more at the actions of the administration than Trump and his, sort of whims and his narcissism needing to be fed and all that. Everyone knows that Trump has to be flattered. So Mamdani going there and flattering him made sense for both of them. But long term, it means nothing for Mamdani. Politically, Trump will be Trump.
Well, and
Hmm.
also Trump likes winners. He likes
Yeah,
people who are
absolutely.
Yeah.
charismatic. The
Totally.
popular guy from the TV came to visit him, gave him a big smile. Everybody likes Mamdani right now that, is popular. So, and he wants to be liked in New York. Eventually, he is going to likely go back to New York at some point, and he wants to be with the popular crowd in New York. And right now, that's Mamdani. So ultimately, he wants to be the cool guy, and Mamdani is the cool guy in New York right now. So
Yeah.
ultimately,
He
that's what he wants.
also, I agree with you, and you're right. Like he likes people who win elections, because I always think of him
Mhm.
talking about how Carrie Lake is a literal loser because she
Yeah.
lost. And like
Have
he
you
hates people who lose. So
have you ever
it's,
seen him look at anyone like that? I've never even seen him look at Ivanka like that, and that's his
uh,
favorite child. Like he's never looked at anyone like that. He's smitten.
yeah. I mean, we'll see how this all plays out. You have two colleagues, at least on your podcast, Christine, who live in New York. Are they fear? I don't think I could live in New York City under Mom Donnie. I think I would move. I know one person who is still a straggler left over who is moving because she's extremely worried about like violent crime increasing and all the things everyone else is worried about. But are any of your colleagues or friends concerned? Because you live in DC, you see what poor governance can do to a city.
Yeah, I think, Tish agreeing to stay on for now, the police commissioner, was at least a slightly hopeful sign for some people. But every person I know in New York City who is Jewish has been having conversations a lot about arming themselves, protecting themselves. But there's also, I think, a real and these, New Yorkers, they're not going to leave either. They don't want to give up their city to some crazy socialist who hates the Jews. They're like, no, we're going to stay and we're gonna, demand respect. And you can't do that to our city. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, it's all in how he governs and if he's capable of governing. Because even the people who put him in office, even those like trust fund baristas in Brooklyn, if they can't
Yeah.
walk from the subway to a club on a Friday night without getting mugged, even they will turn on him or move out. So I think that his coalition is very fragile. It's not that he has no mandate. This was not an overwhelming, vote for him. He was extremely blessed in who he was running against and the fact that it was a three-way race. So we'll see how he does. But crime and the economy, the affordability stuff he's promised, he can't deliver with the policies he claims he's going to enact. Rent freezes will make the housing issue in New York much worse, not better. Free buses are just going to create chaos and become basically roving homeless shelters.
Mhm.
And regular
Yeah.
people who need to use the bus will not use it or be able to. So I think that all those tensions are what I hear from my friends, and I have a lot of respect for the ones who are like, he can't force me out of my city, because that's such a New Yorker vibe. I love that about New Yorkers, like especially the ones born and raised there. So we'll see. Crime and the economy are going to be what make people leave, or if they improve, stay.
I know. I always thought the free buses. Portland came out with like this like these statements are like, we tried it here and it was a disaster. And if
Yeah.
Portland's like, it doesn't work here, because I think Portland is like one of the most, progressive cities on the planet. And they're like, don't do this. It's a bad idea. And government run grocery stores. Has anyone been to the DMV? It's horrific. Or government run anything. Can you imagine the kind of produce to be the government? And that's why I'm like these, like you said, like hipster trust fund kids who go to Whole Foods every day. You want a government run grocery store?
Well, they
What that's
won't be
gonna
the
look
ones
like?
going there. No, so this
Yeah.
is the thing. They are insulated by their wealth and privilege from the consequences of Mamdani's policies, and they always will be. But there are more, it's the middle class and working class New Yorkers who want to stay in the city who will suffer the most, and they're the ones who he's going to have to speak to them.
The only
Yeah.
place I've heard of like the free buses working, it was either Iowa or Nebraska. Like, and they've had it going for 3 years. It's those kinds of places where it works,
But I
not
mean,
these major
respectful to
cities.
Nebraska,
Exactly,
which
but
I
that's what I'm
personally like
saying.
Nebraska, but like this population size,